Well, good morning, you beautiful New Zealanders. What you're about to see is a series of Maori or part Maori reacting to or commenting on David Seymour's Treaty Principles Bill. David Seymour's Treaty Principles Bill is crucially important for the future of our country. As I have said before, that currently New Zealand is like a plane with 5 million people on board. It's been hijacked by terrorists. This plane is going to slam into the side of a mountain pretty much the same as when the terrorist plane slammed into the Twin Towers. America. The crash will be unsurvivable. On this plane are Kiwis. That's the vast majority of us who are capable of overpowering the terrorists in the cockpit and saving the plane. What do I mean by that? Well, we can overcome them with democratic process, which is much more powerful than guns and violence. But we have to get out of our seats on this plane and take action. Sitting in our seats and complaining is not going to save this plane. Okay, this is what I mean by defeating corruption through democratic process. It means reaching the unaware in our country, people who are not awake to all these issues. It means going around the mainstream media. By this, I mean getting a hold of flyers and brochures that we have produced, and we have lots of them, and putting them in letterboxes in your street and surrounding streets. It's not a hard job, or giving them to people on the street. When you're out and about, just handing them out. It also means learning about the treaty so that we can refute error and fraud with facts. When we are talking to people, that's important, so we know what we're talking about. It also means doing things like forwarding these videos to friends and family so that they can join in. Together, as a team, we can stop the destruction of our country, but we all have to take action. To get hold of brochures and flyers, call Vicky on that number 021 029 85419. Good on you guys, we can do this, just join in and help. If the bill passes, then as a nation we will have saved the plane and all the passengers, including the terrorists, I might add. If the bill is scuttled, this plane called New Zealand is going to slam into that mountain. What do I mean by that? Well, only in a few short years we'll be the Zimbabwe of the South Pacific. So, in today's video, I'm going to show the level of angst and opposition that is out there among Maori to stop this bill. And you know what? I have many questions for Maori. Why this level of anger? What are they afraid of? What are they trying to hide? Exactly what is it that they perceive as being threatened? Why not have a healthy debate? Why is a debate about this bill not allowed in our democracy? It's completely wrong. To answer these questions and more, I'm going to put together a series of videos. It's going to be called, quote, Exposing the Truth, the Treaty Principles Bill video series, unquote. So I'm asking you to please be sure to share these videos with everyone everywhere so that we can see David's bill go all the way and become law. That is the plan.
An unspeakable violation, reckless and the most flagrant breach of the treaty in modern history. That's how expert witnesses have described the Treaty Principles Bill in the final day of the Waitangi Tribunal's urgent inquiry into the policy. Māori Affairs reporter Tianiwa Hurihanganui reports.
The hearing overflowing as tension over the Treaty Principles Bill heats up.
If passed, it will represent one of, if not the worst and most flagrant breaches of Te Tiriti o Waitangi in modern history.
Attention turning to expert witnesses and claimants who streamed in one by one and didn't hold back.
There is a violence that's being done to the text.
Why would you do this to us? Why are you trying to hurt us so badly?
The fact that it's then come about by one small party saying, this is our price for allowing government power, I think that's very reckless.
The ACT Party has interpreted the treaty's Māori text as granting equal rights to all New Zealanders. But many Māori say this definition breaches their exclusive right to tino rangatiratanga or self-determination over their land and taonga.
What is being said here is absolute nonsense. The final English draft of the treaty and the Maori text agree perfectly that when Maori were granted British citizenship, they were made equal under the law with everyone else in this country. Please be sure to go to the description of this video and download the document I have put together, which explains the activist interpretation of the treaty and how they came to acquire it. It's called A Short Explanation About What David Seymour is On About in His Treaty Principles Bill. I hope you get a lot out of that document. It took many hours to put together, and it explains all this crap that we're hearing on this news report.
When I first read these principles, now I've got a good understanding of Māori, And I thought maybe they put this through AI to come up with this.
Several Te Reo Māori experts have told the tribunal they bear little resemblance to what the treaty actually says.
To do something like this to a language, anyone's language, is an unspeakable violation.
In the Crown's brief of evidence filed to the Waitangi Tribunal, it confirmed that to date no tikanga Māori or Māori language expert has been involved in the development of the bill.
We should be consulted and be right at the start of all of these conversations, especially to do with our treaty of Waitangi that our forebears and our ancestors signed way back in 1840, of course.
Oh no. Well, firstly, why should Maori be consulted? That's the first question. It's up to Parliament, not the Waitangi Tribunal, to inform us all about what the treaty says or does not say. It's not up to Maori at all. They need to stay in their lane. Secondly, there would be absolutely no point in, quote, consulting, unquote, with Maori. Why? Well, the activist understanding of the treaty is now so far removed from reality, and they've been completely brainwashed for 50 years, that trying to get to the truth and talk to them about the truth of the treaty would be like trying to have a conversation with a goldfish. Don't even try. But you know what? There is also something much deeper here, much, much deeper. What's that? Well, modern Maori have never accepted the fact that in 1840 their elders gave away their rights to be superior to everyone else. Via Article 1 of the treaty, one law for all was established in New Zealand. There were to be no special rights and privilege for any group in our country. Everyone was to submit to the democratic rule of a duly elected parliament, and that parliament was mandated to treat everyone equally. Article 3 reinforces this. When Maori were made British citizens, they were made equal with all other citizens here. So the radical Maori interpretation of the treaty, which makes Maori a superior race of people, a cock-of-the-roost people group who deserve special rights and privileges, is completely out of sync with scholarly understanding of the text. Now, I'm going to go into this with a lot more detail in the next series of videos, but that's enough for now, just to say that this is parallel universe stuff. Just take a couple of moments to read what I've written on the screen here and take it in. See, Maori today think they're superior. They're actually not. Modern Maori need to humble themselves and accept what happened in 1840. They need to build a bridge, get over themselves, and reconnect with what their ancestors did in 1840. This is exactly what Sir Rananata was saying to the Maori in the 1920s and 30s in New Zealand. Watch this. Sir Rananata said this: "It was the first article of the treaty which transferred the chiefly authority of your ancestors affecting you and future generations forever." Forever. The treaty made one law for the Maori and Pākehā. In other words, one law for all. Don't we need to hear that today? If you think things are wrong and bad, which is what Maori in the 1920s and 30s were saying, exactly what they're saying today, then blame our ancestors who gave away their rights in the days when they were very powerful. What he's saying is that through Article 1 and through Article 3, Maori society was levelled and all people were made equal in this country. And you know what? In 1840, the Maori celebrated becoming British citizens and being equal. They thought it was a step up. They were so appreciative. But today, being equal is completely unacceptable to modern Maori. Isn't that sad? And there's the reference. There's the book. Go and have a look for yourself.
The tribunal will now have just weeks to write its report.
So I hope you took good notes.
Before the bill is introduced to Parliament. Te Aniwa Hurihanga Nui, One News.
Okay, what I'm going to do now is show you a series of clips of Maori leaders who are venting their anger at David's bill. What I'm going to do in the next series of videos is explain what Maori are hiding that are making them so angry, and what they're afraid of that's making them so angry, and why it is imperative that we break through to expose 50 years of fraud and corruption. David's bill must succeed. Let's help him.
If there is any measure of meddling with the Treaty of Waitangi, Māori will not sit idly by.
He is threatening to take away Māori rights. And when you threaten to take away Māori rights, you get an upset Māori nation. It's probably the most divisive bill of the last generation.
Protest has long been part of the commemoration of National Day. But the anger's more heated this year as demonstrators voice their opposition to government plans they say threaten Maori living standards and rights. Rights guaranteed in the country's founding document. Many Maori people fear their culture is under attack.
Okay, let's just stop it there. The reporter says many Maori feel their culture is under attack. Well, let's stop and think about this. Is there any law or rule or statute or legislation stopping Maori from practicing their culture? No. Or speaking their language? No. Or expressing themselves culturally? No. They can speak their language and express their culture any place, any time. Isn't that true? So what on earth are they talking about? Well, I'll tell you. What they're really saying is that they want all Kiwis to Maorify, to start speaking the language and take on board Maori culture. It's called the Maorification of our country. Most Kiwis don't want to become a Maori, and nor should they be forced to become one. They are happy with their existing culture. In a democracy, it's their right to have that right, and to not have another culture forced upon them. Isn't that true? You know what? There's another consideration here that we dare not gloss over. We have 160 cultures in our country. I don't know whether you knew that or not, but we do. All the other 159 cultures take responsibility to care for and nurture their own culture. They do this in their homes and their special places of worship. They receive little or no government funding. And you know what? They're absolutely thriving. So why don't Maori take responsibility for their culture? Fund it themselves? Come on. The answer is they have been told wrongly for generations that they are an elevated people group who deserve elevated treatment. They believe they're cock of the roost. And you know what? Maori have come to believe this. They get this from a fraudulent interpretation of the treaty. So we're going to examine how Maori activists interpret the treaty in the next few videos. You don't want to miss this, because we're going to rip the covers off 50 years of fraud and corruption and show you what's happened. As Thomas Sowell said, the famous American philosopher, he said, when people get used to preferential treatment, equal treatment seems like discrimination. Oh my goodness, isn't that relevant for this discussion?
To review the founding treaty's principles and curtail the use of the Maori language.
Right, that's enough for today. What do I want you to get from today's video? Well, the outcry from Maori about David Seymour's bill has little to do with Maori losing their rights, or the butchering of the Maori text, or violence against the Maori text, or adulteration of the Maori text, or crushing the Maori language, or some kind of cultural attack. Truly, these are just smokescreens. The real issue is that Maori don't want the Maorification of New Zealand to stall. And behind this is their great fear that their take-back of New Zealand will stall as well. So it's crucial that we see past the smokescreens to view the reality. The other point I want you to get from this video is that Maori activists and all those they influence truly believe that they are a superior, privileged class of people. They get this idea from a completely corrupt understanding of the treaty. It's caught on like wildfire, and it's been building for 50 years. Right, that's enough for today. Be sure to download the document in the description of this video called A Short Explanation About What David Seymour is On About with his Treaty Principles Bill. You'll find that really interesting. Please print this document out and really study it. If necessary, sorry about the spelling mistake, if necessary, read it 10 times until you feel you have really got what it's saying. It's what we're going to be talking about in my upcoming video series, so I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. Please share this video with everyone everywhere. The mainstream media should be reporting on the issues I am raising in these videos, but they're not. Why aren't they? Well, they're corrupt. Why are they corrupt? They are collaborating with Maori activists, there's no doubt about that. In the final analysis, the people of New Zealand, that's us, have ultimate power. Not the politicians. Did you know that? The people can kick out the people in power and they can put them into power. How are we going to do that? Well, awareness is the key to change. If enough people in New Zealand become aware of the issues I am raising, we can save this beautiful country. So share these videos everywhere so that come the next election, we can vote the right people in and kick out the people who are destroying New Zealand.